So here we go. First video of the day, right? First opportunity, first conversation with the American people. And the big thing that we have to talk about today is fundraising and finance, all right? Of course, there's so many people that ask the question, how much money have you raised? How much money have you brought in for your campaign? And to be perfectly honest, part of me wants to cry out loud and say we haven't raised nearly enough. And the reason we have not raised nearly enough is because this campaign is about rebuilding power in our community. This campaign is about building block by block, family by family. We are not raising money for politics and policy. We are raising money for representation that fights for us. As we pause whatever we're doing, everybody has these handouts. Everybody in the room have these notes. For those of you all online, we do have pamphlets available. You can go to 7411 South Stony and pick up a few pamphlets if you need them. If you know somebody that's interested in helping us, JericoBrown.com. For one, we're going to talk about economic justice and wealth building. I want you all to understand that it's real important to start building wealth in urban communities across the state of Illinois, across the continental United States of America. This is really important. The reason why we must look at this from the African American or Black American standpoint is because Chicago is a heavily urban and minority Black working class district. It is important that we take the time to view this moment as our opportunity to stand up for the people that the leaders in this district have walked over for so long. We must fight for federal investment in Black-owned businesses. This is not a division of race, but instead, this is a moment where we must come together and we must have the serious conversations. We must talk about the things that affect our community and the things that affect us. See, when we go to Congress, we cannot focus on building the first congressional district stronger while making investment in suburban areas and forgetting about those people that live right around us. We must push for federal contracts for minority contractors. And I know in the world of screaming DEI should go away, we're not talking about diversity. We're not talking about inclusion. We're not talking about DEI. We're talking about giving every American a fair chance and a fair opportunity to be who they're called to be, which is the best version of themselves. We must expand access to capital in underserved communities. We must invest and put in more banks in urban communities. We must raise wages and protect the everyday worker. Every dollar you give helps us fight for jobs, contracts, and ownership opportunities in our own neighborhoods. If you would stand with us today and help us bring in the revenue that we need to fight for the people that live on the blocks we live on, that walk down the streets we walk down, that go to the schools our children go to, that eat at the restaurants we eat at, that shop at the grocery stores we shop at. You are helping us bring the representation that has been needed in this community for so long. We are raising money for affordable housing. Your dollar matters. Can y'all say that with me? My dollar matters. All right? If we're going to be a nation determined and motivated to bring quality change, we must be a nation that's willing to invest and affordable housing and homelessness prevention. I've sat in a few meetings with the people of organizations like All Chicago, and we're grateful for the work that they do across the city. We're grateful for how they are trailblazers in the non-for-profit sector, how they are trailblazers in the industry of homeless prevention. And we're grateful to have partnership with them. We are grateful to have partnered and to have partnership with organizations like All Chicago. We must increase federal housing vouchers, beyond the shadow of a doubt. We must fund transitional housing programs and invest in vacant property redevelopment. Listen to me. For those of you out there that are saying, nope, he's not our candidate, listen to what I'm saying to you today. Affordable housing is not low-income housing. Affordable housing, don't let them tell you that affordable housing means that we're going to rely on our housing development organizations or our housing authorities in our communities to create a new standard, if you will. Remember, the projects was a new standard, which for us, for many of my constituents, many of the people that are hearing my voice today, many of the people that are saying, we're going to vote for Jerico, for my constituents, the projects was called the concrete jungle. The projects was a place where we saw murder and decay every day. And affordable housing is not murder and decay. Affordable housing is not mediocrity. Affordable housing states that for somebody in the 1st Congressional District, for many of our residents in the 1st Congressional District, it means, affordable housing means that I can go and work a job where I make $30,000 a year and my rent should be 1/3 of that income. So if I make $30,000 a year, I'm just giving you all an average, right? I'm giving you an example, if you will. If I make $30,000 a year, my rent on average should be about $10,000 a year. There are no properties in our 1st Congressional District where rent is at less than $10,000 a year. We must prevent displacement and gentrification. I'm going to say it again. We must prevent displacement and gentrification. We cannot talk about opportunity if our families don't have stable housing. Your donation today will help us fight for real housing solutions. This is not just lip service. This is the American people receiving the hope and the help that we need. And for many of you all that are screaming, we shouldn't bring banks to Chicago, to urban communities. And for those of y'all that say there are banks already here, not nearly enough. Many of y'all talk about a rising crime issue, and the mayor of the city of Chicago has said to us over and over and over again that we must invest in mental health services way more than we're investing in police response. And I'm going to echo that for a moment, because every time I listen to the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, I always think about this one principle. Hope begins with help. Help leads us to a greater understanding of hope. So we will fight to expand federal mental health centers and clinics. We will address post-traumatic stress disorder in urban communities. We will increase funding for youth counseling and violence interruption programs. Now listen to what I'm saying. This is really important. We must treat trauma the same way we treat crime, with real solutions and not just slogans. Every dollar that you give is going to make sure that you all have a candidate that is willing to stand up against a system that says the root of our problem is not trauma. It's DNA. It's skin color. But it's trauma. You all, this is not a moment to say defund the police. This is not the time for that. We are not in a climate to defund our law enforcement professionals, but we are in a climate where we must invest in public safety. Not just any kind of public safety, we must continue to invest in public safety reform. And I know over the last 2 years and for the next 2 years, we're going to watch as our president attempts to destroy public safety sectors. Change how public safety looks. If you think about it, ICE, the FBI, the police forces, whether city, county, or state, are all part of the public safety sector. But look at how things are happening. We will support community-based policing models. We will push for federal funding for violence prevention. We will continue to stand with organizations like Live Free Illinois, and we will continue to take the very, very acts that they are building across the state of Illinois, and we will take them federally, and we will continue to focus on stronger reentry programs to ensure that second chances really are second chances. We will protect law-abiding citizens while demanding accountability. Safe streets and civil rights can exist together, and we refuse to choose one over the other. We need your help. Some of y'all are writing this story. Some of y'all are writing this story. Some of y'all are going to go tell your children and your grandchildren. Some of y'all are going to hear this later today, and you're going to say, hey, we want to be a part of that man's campaign. He stands for something. I was reminded a long time ago, if they don't stand for anything, they'll fall for anything. You must stand for something. And we stand for economic justice, affordable housing, mental health and trauma recovery, public safety reforms and education, and workforce development. Job Corps is not enough. We watched over the few decades how the city of Chicago had some of the most amazing workforce preparation programs inside of our public school system. We watched those things die. We must invest in trade schools and apprenticeships. We must invest in federal grants for historically black colleges and universities. We must invest in student loan reform, whether they like it or not. Student loans must be reformed. The system of charging so many people so much money to go to school in the richest country in the history of the world is amazing to me. We must give access to our young people to technology in communities that are struggling. We don't just want degrees, we want skills, ownership, and generational wealth. We cannot continue to run politics as they have been ran. The city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, Cook County, Will County deserves leadership that's not afraid to stand up for the American people. I'm not going to keep fighting today. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood, y'all. And y'all know when I get in the mood, I start preaching. I'm not going to preach. Independent leadership is important. And we must let you all know this. You are invested. Listen to me. Over and over and over again, we keep saying, we want it. 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 If you want it, go get it. We are not owned by corporate PACs. We are community first. We are accountable to the 1st Congressional District and will remain accountable to the 1st Congressional District. The reason why, let me tell y'all a brief story. I'm running out of time. But I want to tell you all that we are building a people-funded campaign. And now it's up to you whether or not the people fund this campaign or not. See, you say, well, how is it up to me? You all have to understand that every $1 that you bring in gives you more power. It makes your voice louder than the corporate PACs, the organizations that are directly responsible for a lot of things happening in this nation the way that they happen. There are lobbyists that are lobbying right now in Springfield. There are lobbyists that are lobbying in Washington, D.C. There are lobbyists that are lobbying all around this nation to bring change. But it might not necessarily be positive change. What's good for corporate America isn't always good for us. That's why we need a candidate that understands what it feels like to be us. I don't have a sob story to make me comparable to you. I'm not going to waste your time with the antics of the black vote. You know how powerful your vote is. That's why so many politicians keep coming after you for it. They're looking for me to follow the same methods. The reality is I'm going to lose this campaign if the American people don't stand up. If the members of the 1st Congressional District do not stand up and open up their mouths, sow their money into their community, we're going to lose this election. And the members of this 1st Congressional District are going to endure 2 more years of the same quality of life because we did not stand up for us. I don't want to talk to you about you feeling guilty about my life. Don't feel sorry for me because I don't feel sorry for any resident in the 1st Congressional District. My upbringing was my upbringing. I had a mother who did the best that she could. I had help from community organizations that, by the way, had far much more funding 30 years ago than they have today. Despite the fact the nation being poorer then than it is today. Today, my story starts here. For those of you all that are looking for a candidate that got a sad story, I don't have one for you. But this is my community. This is my district. I grew up in Woodlawn, and I'm back to stand up for our community. I'm back to bring grocery stores back into our community. I am back to bring the mom and pop store back. I am back in our community to stand up for each and every last one of us. Why? Because as a pastor and a community leader, it is important that we stand up for every resident of our community. It's time to stop saying what the Bible said. It is time to start living. Do you think a preacher qualifies to go to Washington? Yes. Because this campaign is ministry in action. We're fighting for dignity, justice, and opportunity. You can choose us if you want to. Or you can sit back and you can allow the same group of people to continue to do the same stuff that they've been doing to us over and over and over again. Listen to me. This is the deal. We need your help. All politics aside, we just need your help. The simple math. If 1,000 people will give $25 today, we send a message that this district belongs to us. If 1,000 people will get with us today and send $25, right where you are, just send $25. You can go to www.jericobrown.com to give. We're about to revamp our website today. I know our team is working around the clock to make sure that we're good. But you all are going to see a humongous donate tab right at the top of the page. It's going to say donate today. And if 1,000 people give $25, we're going to scream to them. Listen, if we do nothing else, I want us to raise this money. I want us to send this message sweeping through Washington, D.C., and let them know that democracy is changing across the United States of America. We are voting for the people because this used to be a nation for the people, by the people. We are fighting now for equality. To my mid-level donors, listen to me. For those of you all that desire to contribute more than $25, our $100 to $500 givers. Your contribution helps us expand outreach, media, and voter engagement. And for those of you all that have been willing to invest over $1,000 with us, we thank you so much. You are investing in a long-term movement for economic and political empowerment. We do not have a desire to be political powerhouses, but we do desire to be your candidate, to be your voice in Washington, D.C. We're speaking for the people that can't speak. Thank y'all so much.